A lot has been said about superhero fatigue. I don't really think superhero fatigue is a thing. I think the only reason that I get tired of something is if it's just the same old, or maybe a movie that's really only there to set up the next one. This whole thing about oh, we got to have a franchise, and I look, just tell a good story. That's all I'm concerned about. And these movies lately have been way too long. They've been so expensive to produce that they don't turn a profit. It just makes sense that maybe there needs to be a new way to look at these things. After I saw Beyond the Spider-Verse, I was like, why don't they just go animated? So this kind of led me down this path of, you know what? I've been sleeping on these DC animated movies for a long time. Maybe I ought to check them out. Now, one of the things that really led me into this was that I got extremely lucky. And I'm just going to say it. I think Apple screwed up. All right. Somebody at Apple, they just mispriced this thing. So it's the DC Universe 10th anniversary 30 movie collection. And they had it for $7.99. This thing usually goes for like $100. And on sale, it'll go down to maybe like 50, but never $8 for 30 movies. Why not? Why not? I'll end up getting it. And it's funny, like 2 hours after I bought it, it jumped back up to $100. So I was like, whoo, man, I got in there right at the right at the end there. You know what I mean? Like I almost missed it. So anyway, I started thinking about it. I'm like, I'm just gonna watch all these. I'm just gonna watch all of them and see how they are. And then I thought, wait a minute. This doesn't include Mask of the Phantasm. That's the one that I keep hearing about because it was the first one. Maybe I should watch that one first. Jump on Max or HBO Max, what used to be HBO Max. And yeah, they're like all there. So I was like, okay, well, I'll watch Mask of the Phantasm first and see what that one's like. Now, recently they announced that they're going to release this movie in 4K. And it's the first one. It's the first big attempt at an animated movie that Warner Brothers did for the DC movies. And it's good. It's good. I liked it. It's not like my favorite, but it is definitely the one that sort of set the standard. And the thing that kind of surprised me is you get like some, I'm not going to say like the biggest actors, but you get some name actors, people that you recognize, especially like Dana Delaney in this one. I recognized her voice immediately, and I was like, oh yeah, that's Dana Delaney. And then Stacy Keach was in this, so along with Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill, and some of the other I guess mainstays of the voice actors for DC. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good time. And I think if you have HBO Max or Max, I think definitely you should check, well, probably all of these out. But I'm going to tell you the ones that, like I said, that I like the best. This one was good. This one was good. It wasn't the best. It was good. I enjoyed it. It was a good time. I think it was like 5 years later when the next one was released. And I think someone at DC said, you know what, we should just make these direct to DVD and yeah, let's just make these because they're fun. We'll keep them kind of breezy, in like an hour and 15 minutes, like all of these. All of these are an hour and 15 minutes, which is kind of nice because it's almost like watching an episode. So it's not like this huge investment of time, which I kind of like. But anyway, the next one was Batman and Mr. Freeze SubZero. And yeah, this one was, as somebody who's not so much into like the entire DC universe, but I know Batman pretty well. I used to read Batman comics a lot. This seemed like a standard Mr. Freeze story. It's like this, yeah. To me there was nothing special about this one. I enjoyed watching it, but it was over, and I was kind of like, okay, on to the next one, kind of thing. That's just look. It's just the truth. Now, if you look at these lists, and I'll include these in the description, the next one is a Gen 13 movie. And apparently this one was, Jim Lee used to be over at Image Comics, and I think he created Gen 13 over there. And then when he got hired on with DC, he brought a lot of his characters over that he had created, I guess, with his Wildstorm Entertainment. Gen 13 was one of them. And apparently this one just people don't like, or it just didn't do well or something, because it's not available on HBO Max or Max. Damn, I keep saying that. But anyway, it's not available, so I didn't get to see that one. Now, the next one on the list was Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker. Now, for someone like me who was always a big fan of Batman, Batman Beyond was something that that came out like after I was into Batman, like heavily. So I didn't know much about Batman Beyond like at all. So coming into this one, I was pretty brand new to it. And yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I mean, this one was really, really good. In fact, especially from, especially from the, I guess the before the DC universe movies, I guess it's so weird. I don't know where to cut these off and how to categorize them, but I really, really enjoyed this one. This one's probably going to be in my top five out of all of the ones I've seen. This one was really, really fun. It's just, the story was just really good. I mean, it was just a good story and one that kept me guessing, which was one of those where, in like I said, hour and 15 minutes, very, very short amount of time, I was intrigued and entertained all the way through it. I think this one's definitely one that if you haven't seen it, yeah, you should definitely put this one on your list. Now, this next one, Batman Mystery of the Batwoman, this one felt like almost like they were hitting a stride. And they were just like, okay, well, we need a story. What are we going to do? And we do this story. And it felt very by the numbers. I still enjoyed it. I still had a good time. Almost all of these I've enjoyed watching. Like I enjoy going through them. But then I don't know. This one was just kind of like, yeah, okay, sure. That was fine. I'm good. Cool. And it's actually the one that made me say, okay, you know what? I'm just going to skip to the other ones, because after that we get like Batman versus Dracula and the Teen Titans, which I have no idea about. And I knew that there was going to be some Teen Titans movies down the road. And I was like, I'm just going to skip to the next one in the list, because look, it's been a lot of Batman. I kind of want to see some of the other characters. So that's kind of how I went with it. Now, the first one here that's part of this collection that I purchased was Superman Doomsday. And I was sort of, I'm aware of this story, of briefly. Like I knew of Doomsday and all that stuff, but I wasn't like, I didn't know the story backwards and forwards. Like I'm pretty sure I own it. Because I was still in the comics at the time that the Doomsday story came out, the death of Superman and all this stuff. I was interested in watching it because I was like, I don't really remember, and it'll be cool to watch this. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this one quite a bit. Now I know that there's if you look at the reviews of this, a lot of people didn't like it because there was so much stuff cut out of it, and that's one of those things where I'm like, okay, I can understand why some people didn't like it because it didn't have all the moments that they wanted or whatever, but I don't know. I enjoyed this one, but on a very fine level. It was fine. It was like a 7 out of 10. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I looked at this one. Now, I am a sucker for anthology stories, like super into it. You know what I mean? I really love short stories. It's something I've always been into. So Batman Gotham Knight is basically a collection of Batman short stories. But for me, none of these hit me. Like this one, I was like, okay, all right. And some of them just end, which is like even like in a short story, you have to have like a wrap up to at least the thought that you have. And I remember multiple times I was just kind of like, oh, okay, that one's just over now. Okay. So for me, this one was kind of a miss. I didn't like this one as much as the other ones, the full length features. This one was just kind of there. But again, it was there, and I'm like, hey, cool. I'll watch this one. All right, on to the next one. Now you talk about art style, right? I'll tell you this. When this one started, I was like, okay, because I wasn't crazy about the art style for Wonder Woman. This is the 2009, I guess, video direct to DVD, whatever. I was not into the art style and was kind of bummed out by it. But you know what? I enjoyed this one a lot. This one was really, really well done. And again, it all comes down to story. The story was really, really well done. And I like the voice acting in this. I mean, across the board, almost all of these, the voice acting is great. Okay. So I don't want to go into detail that much on each one of these. But yeah, this one I just really liked. I really liked it. And it made me go, Wonder Woman's pretty damn cool. It's like I've been sleeping on Wonder Woman for a long time. That almost sounds kind of weird. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is I enjoyed this one a lot, and yeah, I was looking forward to seeing her in more of these movies. Now, I feel like this is already getting too long, but here's the thing: there's a lot more to go. There's like what 50 something movies or something. So yeah, this probably would not go all in one video, but I'm gonna stop it here, and I'm gonna ask you, which ones have you seen, and which ones do you like? Like, which ones are your favorite? I'll tell you this: I'm at like, I think Justice League Dark is the next one on my list, which is like way down the list. I think like 20 more movies down the list. So I'm ahead. Of course, I'm watching these. I've been watching these for a while. But yeah, I wanted to talk about them because I'm really enjoying this, and I want to try to get those people like me who was on the fence and going, I don't know. I mean, they're animated, blah blah blah. No, they're really fun. They're really fun, and especially if you have Max, yeah, check them out because they're free to watch. They're free to watch. Now, what was cool, I will say, about having that DC package that I got from iTunes is that it has all the special features too. So if there's any making of stuff about them talking about, oh, here's what we were thinking when we did this, I love that stuff. So I've been watching those along with it too. So maybe that's helping with my enjoyment. But look, if you're just interested in the movies, they're over there on Max. But anyway, I want to hear from you. You let me know which ones I guess of the ones that I talked about, which ones you like the best, and then which ones are you looking forward to me talking about, and maybe I've already seen them. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.